Hey y'all, can you see the lake in the background? Honey, it rained so hard last night. Multiple storms came through, back to back to back. Coming here, there's a massive lake to the right side. There's not supposed to be any water over there. It's a huge lake because of all the rain, and had to drive through a huge puddle to get to this side. Otherwise, you can't get into the parking lot. But I seen that there were cars here, so I figured it was drivable to get through. I also saw a bluebird, which is not the same as a blue jay. Bluebirds are beautiful. You don't see them very often. I saw one on the way in, and the creek is completely flooded. There's no land where the creek is, the little tiny overflow from the lake. It's a mess. It's a real mess, but it's still pretty. So I want to talk to you today about deal breakers in relationships, deal breakers, and friendships for all that. Um, there is a friend of a friend who is addicted to this man. She likes guys who have nothing going on for them, which is another deal breaker, I might add. If you live in your mom's basement, you don't have a job, you ain't never had a job, you don't really have much going on for yourself, you don't have any ambition, she thinks you are the sexiest man alive. Okay? I don't know if she's got a rescue personality. I don't know if she grew up with one of her parents was a loser, so that's totally familiar to her. But she's got the hots for this guy who is so emotionally dead. When both his dogs died separate times, he had zero emotion about it. Could care less. Okay? That tells me everything I need to know about somebody. And I don't want to hear no reasons and excuses as to why you're cold-blooded. If you're cold-blooded, the reasons are irrelevant as far as I'm concerned. So don't give me no BS about, the reason why is because... The reason that you're giving is irrelevant. Your pets are your children. Your furry children. They should be part of the family. They should be considered part of the family. If you are that icy cold and that detached, that's all I need to know. He got nothing going on as per her usual, what she's attracted to. He got nothing going on. He lives in his mom's basement, parents' basement. The parents enable, another case of parental enmeshment. They are perfectly fine with him not having a job, not having a life, never has worked. He works as a part-time singer in a band. The other people in the group say that he's creepy. And if anybody is considered a social reject, honey, you are the hottest thing she's ever seen in her life. Okay? I'll never understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me, but okay. She was married to a guy who he's the father of her son, and he's the same way. He lives in his parents' basement. He don't have a life. Parents take care of him. They baby him. She's attracted to men like that. And he's threatened to unalive her because she wants him to pay child support. So what his next move is, I will take your son, our son, from you. And I said, well, hi. Good. You guys coming here for the first time? This is the dog park side. You can, but the dogs could possibly be running in and out of the water. Yeah, but people usually go on that side. Yeah. You could go all the way down and go through and go around that way also. You're welcome. I just didn't want them interrupting your fishing. Milo, leave them alone. Happy fishing, guys. Sorry about that. So anyway, yeah. Um, you know, he threatened to unalive her because he don't want to pay child support. So, because these people are entitled and because they are mentally, psychologically, and biologically damaged, because that's what happens when you train your children to be narcissist and entitled and grandiose. They feel like, I don't ever have to work. Why would I? And you want me to work and pay child support? Nah, if my parents ain't paying my child support, I ain't doing squat. I'd rather unalive you and risk going to jail. This is how sick people are because, again, they weren't raised right. Okay? So, yeah, they weren't raised right. So they literally have brain damage. So his latest stunt is to try to take her son from her. And because the son is 17, he's old enough to decide who he wants to live with. And the father has messed up his brain and has told him, well, you don't want to be with your mother. She's a loser. Look at me. I'm a better person than she is, and da 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 da. And you got to really be careful of your kids being brainwashed by your psychologically damaged ex, their parent. Got to be careful because they will mess those kids up in the head. And convince them, because kids are vulnerable and impressionable, convince them that you ain't shit, you ain't never amounted to shit, you ain't never gonna be shit, and you're a drug head, and you're not any of those things, but you will be considered a drug head and everything else. I mean, it's crazy. You gotta be careful, man. You gotta be careful who you lay down with. Be careful who you lay down with. I don't care how bad you want a kid. You don't just lay down with anything. Okay? And you damn sure don't lay down with somebody who ain't never had a goddamn job. He lives in mommy and daddy's basement. And the parents are to blame because they encourage this behavior. Okay? Why, I don't know. But they do. They're sick too. So anyway. Yeah. It's muggy. So yeah, what are your deal breakers? I don't like smokers. That's a deal breaker for me. That's a potential for self-inflicted lung cancer, although you could get it without smoking. That's not my topic. It's self-inflicted, potentially, cancer causing. So that's a deal breaker for me. Anybody who's a narcissist, that should go without saying. That's a deal breaker. Anybody who's cold as ice, which goes along with narcissism, that's a deal breaker. Anybody who doesn't have any emotions when something happens to me, you get the gist. Okay. So, what are your deal breakers? What are your deal breakers? I don't like emotionally dead people. I was married to one the first time. It's like being with a Sears mannequin. You'd have to light his butt on fire in order for him to respond to anything. Look here, mannequins don't turn me on. Statues do not do it for me. They just don't. So, anyway, God, it's muggy. Whew, and more rain's coming tonight, so that's going to be interesting. Yeah, think about this. What are your deal breakers? I don't want, if I ever get involved with anyone, which is extremely doubtful, but let's just throw that out there. They have to be straight. No bisexual. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not doing it. People that are swingers. I'm not into that freaky lifestyle, so no. People who don't want to be a man, he's gradually turning into a woman, wearing nail polish and makeup and all that. I'm not down for that either. If that's what you want to do, that turns you on, go for it. But that's not for me. So, anyways, yeah, think about that, guys. What are your deal breakers? Food for thought. You guys take care. God, the mugginess is going, woo, Lordy, it's just grabbing me by the throat. Not fun, man. Y'all take care. Bye.